guys, and welcome to the Bayern View. Hopefully everybody is doing good. Smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, all of that good stuff like it says on the screen. Thank you for the constant support on the channel, my people. Bless up. And yeah, in this particular video, we are going to be predicting the Bundesliga table for this the season coming. Yeah, man, I'm going to be going first all the way down to bottom of the table, which obviously will be 18th. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Smash the likes. If you disagree, please let me know. Yeah, man, that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So yeah, bless up to everybody, like I said, and let's get into the video. Now, to explain my thinking, I've done this little graphic here where we're just going to go through every single team and basically, just look at what they've done. So Augsburg did bring in a centre-back, Miasta, I believe so you say his name, as Cedric Zigster as well. They brought in. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. Obviously, they've got some other things as well, which is very interesting in itself. So, yeah, there's that. Now, obviously, Leverkusen, obviously, they brought in Konza. They brought in Tillman. You know what I mean? Obviously, Flecken come in and, they've spent a good amount of money, 35 million on Konza, 35 million on Tillman. You know what I mean? Like, they've spent some good money. And, yeah, man, they got free transfer in there and so on and so forth. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. And obviously with Ten Hag as well. Bayern. So far, at the time of recording this, maybe there's another signing, but I'm recording this because, by the time this comes out, I'll be on holiday in Greece and I won't have time to make the video look the way we're making it right now. So, yeah, obviously we brought in Jonathan Tah. We brought in Tom Bischoff, basically both 2 free transfers, but we had to pay a little bit of money to get them to play in the Cup World Cup. So, realistically, it's a free transfer, but yeah, there's that. And obviously, Luis Diaz's face is there because we did bring in Luis Diaz. Dortmund obviously brought in Joe Bellingham for 30 mil. They obviously brought in, is it Koya? Is that how you say his name? They obviously brought him in for 20 mil. Dan Seven, the left back, 6.5 million. And then they brought in a young player from Bochum. Well, actually, he's not young. He's old. An old player from Bochum for 250k. Borussia Mönchengladbach brought in 2 players. Obviously, I'm not fully going on who they've lost and so on, because if that was the case, we could go all the way back to Bayer Leverkusen. Obviously, they lost the Haller players, Xhaka. They lost loads, Hideki, I believe. Obviously, Wirtz, so on and so forth. So yeah, just talking about the inbringings. Obviously, Frankfurt have made some signings. They obviously did lose obviously some of their biggest players, but they did bring in a right back, Rasmus Christen, I believe so say, it's right back coming from Leeds. They did bring in Jonathan Barak, I believe so you say his name, 24-year-old striker. Obviously, he was playing for Mainz before. See how he's going to do. So yeah, there's that. Cologne obviously coming up from Bundesliga 2. They are a newly promoted team. They've been signing some players, nothing too major, but they still have been doing it. I do feel like they are going to be a good team going forward, and they're going to be fighting to stay up, of course. Freiburg, obviously they brought in Arin. Is it a right winger? I don't really know how to say his name. They picked him up for 8.5 million. They got an attacking midfielder for 8 million, which is actually a good deal considering the team before bought him for 10. So getting him for under, and then they brought in some others as well. Hamburg is similar to Cologne. They obviously have come up from Bundesliga 2, first time in ages for Hamburg anyway. And they've been getting signings in. I mean, they got Poulsen in from RB Leipzig. They brought in a player from Salzburg. They've been doing really well. Obviously, they got Daniel Peretz in as well. He's their goalkeeper, on loan from Bayern. And then obviously they got some others as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with them. It really, really is. And maybe they go on to sign Peretz. Similar, Heidenheim did get the loan transfer of Ibrahimovic. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that one. And they also got a loan in for the goalkeeper as well. Hoffenheim have been doing quite a lot of business, to be fair. Got themselves in a defensive midfielder, young one. Got himself a centre back. Got themselves another defensive midfielder, one from Stoke as well, Stoke City. They spent a little bit, but nothing spectacular. Mainz obviously got in a good amount of money for their striker, so they went and got a centre forward themselves, Holibach, I believe is how you say his name, from Union Berlin. Picked him up for 10 million. Nothing too bad. Obviously got themselves a free transfer, and then obviously a loan and so on. Leipzig, obviously Leipzig have spent a good amount of money, but obviously they just got rid of Sesko. It looks like they're going to get rid of Xavi Simons. Do they bring in Kunku back? Again, at the time of this, I don't know what's going to happen, but by the time this video goes out, I'm sure Nkunku's probably gone somewhere. Maybe Inter, maybe Leipzig, maybe Bayern. We don't know. But 20 million on the left winger. Obviously, they brought in Arthur Verman. Verman, I believe is how you say his name, who was already there, but they fully picked him up. They brought in the young player Bakayoko, obviously was playing for PSV. They picked him up. They've gone in and they've made some good signings. So let's see what they can do, and are they actually going to do something this year? Because last year, from a Bayern Munich perspective, I loved it because I can't stand them. But at the same time, from their perspective and what they spend and so on, they need to do better. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. St. Pauli, again, have been spending some money, got themselves a right winger, a left back, centre back, goalkeeper, so on. Got some free transfers in there as well. So, yeah, there's that. Stuttgart, have got in a couple of players, got themselves in a right back, got themselves in a right winger. It is going to be interesting to see if they get rid of Nick Bodemade. Again, at the time of recording this, maybe they still have him, or maybe they do still have him at the time of recording this, but we'll have to wait and see. Union Berlin, again, picked up some players, as you can see. By the way, if you need to pause this at any point, please do. Please do. But a Boyman, they picked up a player from Juventus, a left winger, for 10 million. They got a loan transfer of a lead centre back, and then a couple of their youth players coming through. They're under 19s coming up. A centre forward, a centre back, a defensive midfielder, and an attacking midfielder. Wolfsburg, Wolfsburg have been spending some dough as well, to be honest with you. Got himself in a Brazilian defensive midfielder from Sheffield United. Got themselves in a centre forward. They've been spending the dough as well. So the reason for me showing you these and so on and so forth is just so you understand, why I then pick the way I'm going to pick, if that makes sense. That basically is my take on it. So now we're going to go over here. Now this is going to look really, really, really funky and weird to you. But don't worry, I'm going to change the screen in just a second. And we're going to go with this one here. And I'm going to move my camera out of the way. I'm going to put it over in this corner here. So, yeah, bless up to everybody. I do hope everyone is doing well. And let's get into predicting it. Now, hopefully this isn't too small for your screen. It doesn't look it. Obviously, don't worry about the Bayern badge. But let's get into this. So the way we're going to get this to work, if we zoom this in, we will go back on full screen, in the end. So I think Bayern Munich are going to come first. I really, really do. I do think Bayern are going to come first. Obviously, I'm a Bayern Munich fan, so of course I'm going to be backing my team. But I do think picking up Luis Diaz was massive for us, and so on and so forth. I think Jonathan Tah is going to be really good. If we can get in some other players, again, at the time of recording this, we don't know who's coming in. Obviously we've tried to go in for Vodamade 3 times and been rejected 3 times. So yeah, either way though, I do think Bayern Munich are gonna win the league, and I do think we're gonna win the league by a healthy amount. I really, really do. Then second place, I've got Borussia Dortmund in at second place. I think, they're going to do a lot better than they did last year. I think Goretzka is going to kick on from what he was doing. I think he's going to do what he was doing, if not better. I'm going to go with that. Third place, I'm going to go with Leverkusen. I am going to go with Leverkusen in there. I think they're going to drop down a peg. But I still think they're going to be pushing. Again, these are for the Champions League spots. And then for Champions League, I'm actually going to go with Leipzig. I think the fact that Leipzig don't have any games at all, I do think Leipzig could push for the title. I really, really do. So I'm going to put them up here just for a second. But in the end, I think they will push down into fourth, and they will get fourth. So yeah, that's personally what I think. You got to remember they only have DFB Pokal and they only have Bundesliga. They don't have Champions League, Europa League, this. They missed out on it. So I think that's going to be very, very interesting to see what is actually going to happen, because at the end of the day, that does mean something. Look at what Conte did. Now, I'm not comparing Conte and Leipzig at all, but they won the league because and look at what Inter did. They didn't win the league because they were in all three competitions and bottled all of them. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's personally how I see that. But yeah, I then think fifth place is going to be Frankfurt. I do think they're going to drop down a little bit just because they are pushing for the Champions League. They are in the Champions League. I do think they are going to get knocked out in the end. So that's what pushes them as a whole, if I'm being 100%. Let me just move these up a little bit. So yeah, that's what I think. Under them, I'm going with... I'm actually going to go with Freiburg. I am actually going to go with Freiburg. I think Freiburg get Europe. Obviously, if you don't know, Freiburg are in Europa League coming up this season, and I think they go far in that. So yeah, I'm going to go with them getting one down, which is obviously going to be Conference League. But that's personally my opinion. I could be 100% wrong. A team that's actually got Conference League this season, who I think is going to be in seventh, is actually going to be Mainz. I think Mainz get in seventh. I think they just miss out. And then, then we go from there. Stuttgart are going to be eighth for me. They definitely could kick on. They are a very, very good team. Obviously, they finished in ninth. So they didn't do very, very well. They got 12 losses, 8 draws, 14. Obviously, Stiller was out a little bit. It didn't really matter in the end, league campaign-wise, because they did go on to win the league. But yeah, that's what I'm personally going with. Then I'm going with Werder Bremen to finish in ninth place. Last season, they finished 8th, so I feel like they're just going to swap with Stuttgart, to be perfectly honest with you. Then in 10th spot, I'm going back-to-back years, and I'm going with Mönchengladbach to get in 10th spot. Mönchengladbach are a good team. They're a very tricky team, but they, in the end, it's a pain in the ass to beat them. And then I'm going back-to-back again. I think Wolfsburg are going to be 11th. I'm quite literally going back-to-back right now. So yeah, there's that. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. And now this is the tricky one, because now we're pushing from 12th to 18th. You know what I mean? So it's going to be very interesting. I think 12th we get in is Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim are a very, very good team, but I do think they're going to get 12th. I think they're going to do a lot better than they did last season, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I think they are going to get some wins. Maybe they even beat Bayern. You know what I mean? So that's personally how I see it. I'm going to put them in at 12th. Then number 13, again, we're going back-to-back, and I think Union Berlin do get 13th in the Bundesliga. Again, they're going to be lower half of the table, but they won't go down. That's how I personally see it. And now we get interesting. Now this is interesting. Now, I actually do think that Hamburg do stay up, and I'm going to put them in at 14th. Maybe they even go top 10. I'm not sure. If I'm being 100% honest with you. Yeah, I'm really, really not sure. And I've just realized as well, I've got Augsburg finishing lower, which probably is a mistake thinking about it. But then I'm going to go with Augsburg in at 15th, which would be a terrible season for them deep in it, because they did finish 12th. Again, this is just my predictions. Let me know what you think. Then I'm going to have Cologne in on the relegation spot, or relegation playoff spot, shall I say, like so. Heidenheim are going down, and St. Pauli are going to finish bottom. Again, if you are a St. Pauli fan, I apologise, but that is just my opinion on what I think is going to happen in the league. So, yeah, there we go. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you agree with what I've got here? So, again, just to reiterate, I've got Bayern top. I think Bayern are going to win the league. I've got Borussia Dortmund second. I've got Leverkusen third, Leipzig fourth. Then we go in with Frankfurt in at fifth, sixth, Freiburg, seventh, Mainz, eighth is going to be Stuttgart, Werder Bremen in at ninth, Borussia Mönchengladbach 10th, 11 Wolfsburg, 12th place I think is going to be Hoffenheim, Union Berlin at 13, Hamburg stay up, and they're going to be 14th. I think 15th will be Augsburg. They're not going to have the best year, in my personal opinion. I do think that Cologne are going to have a chance to stay up, but they're going to have to play a game for it, which will be the relegation playoffs. And then Heidenheim and St. Pauli go down, in my personal opinion. Let me know what you think. Do you think one of the big boys, maybe like a Wolfsburg, maybe like a Borussia Mönchengladbach, Union Berlin, do you think they go down? Do you think they get into that big slug fight? Let me know what you think. They definitely could. They definitely could. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you have enjoyed, please do smash the likes, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for the constant support on the channel. And until then, mia sa mia. Peace.